This DIY is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome back to the DIY Designer. For those of you that are new and this is your first video, my name is Orly. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you guys found me. For the rest of you, for my people, I love you. Thank you for being here for another week. Now, if you guys caught last week's mask video where it was like kind of the neck, like scarf, headband, convertible situation, I teased today's video because I've been so excited. This is one that I've been dying to do. Really, like, oddly, before COVID, when I saw Billie Eilish wear this really cool sequin face mask, there was a couple. She wore like a Gucci one, I think it was at the Grammys, and then this other really cool clear crystal one. And they were kind of growing on me as like a trend, but like, I wasn't gonna wear them at the time. But now I can. I've seen some really beautiful, like high fashion, glam, wedding appropriate, red carpet appropriate face masks. But the thing that I keep thinking in my mind is like, how do you sanitize them? How do you wash them? I don't know. So then I thought, what if we make mask covers that go on top of your existing mask? So whatever your go-to mask is that you know is safe and it works and it's comfortable, we're gonna make these really cool no-sew sequin mask covers that can go right on top of them. So it instantly transforms your regular mask into something that you could wear as a total fashion statement. I've got a really small family wedding coming up. I might wear one of these without the protective mask underneath because this is family I've been around. So I don't necessarily need the protection, but I just sort of want the pretty sparkly part. I don't know. So just to keep that in mind, you can do both. Before we get started, I just want to make sure to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare, for making this one possible. There's a whole new area of Skillshare that I've become obsessed with, and it's the interior design section of the website. If you're anything like me, obviously we're spending so much time at home. Now is the time to kind of beautify our space, make it feel fresh, all within a budget. And so what I love about all these different interior design courses is they really teach you the fundamentals of design, things like color theory and shape and lighting and mood and levels, but it also teaches you how you can like shop your own house for items and think of them in new ways. Grab everything from all the rooms, put them in the middle of the room, and redecorate each room one at a time, and it's gonna instantly make it feel new for $0. So really cool tips on how to shop for vintage finds, flea market finds, decorate your space, create mood boards, how to elongate your walls and create drapes, all sorts of amazing things. I am just such a huge fan of Skillshare. There's so many cool courses no matter what you want to learn right now, whether it's something selfish to enjoy your space or a new skill for a business that you want to start. It's just amazing. The first 1,000 of you that click the link in my description are going to get 2 months of Skillshare Premium totally free. So click the link, do not wait, pause this video, do it now, and come on back. And for the rest of you, if you do miss it, still, it's only $10 a month for all of those courses. You can take as many as you want, as often as you want. I highly recommend it. All right, guys, let's get right into materials for this super glamorous DIY. All right, so here is that mesh fabric. It's linked below if you guys want to get this exact one, and I highly recommend it. It's perfect. So basically, first thing I'm doing is I'm just going to be trimming off the edges. You can see, obviously, it's got a border without any rhinestones on it. You're going to want to keep the border on part of it, but not on the other. So basically, when we create the mask, we're going to be folding over like a little casing for our elastic. That part you want to keep the border on. The top and the bottom, which is what I'm cutting now, you don't, because you don't want any black border on the top of your nose or underneath on your chin. So I'm measuring it to see if I had enough to be able to cut it in half and end up with 2 masks, which I do. So I'm basically cutting it right now. This is gonna be 6 inches wide. And when you're cutting it, your eyes are gonna sort of like blur up a little bit because of the way that it works. So just take your time and go slow, turn it around if you need to, but you're just gonna try to follow a straight line all the way across. And now I have enough for 2 masks. I was hoping I had enough for 4. I thought maybe it was possible to cut it in half, but it's not. It was gonna be a little too narrow. So I'm cutting it at 8 inches wide. That leaves me with a little section that I'm gonna use for another project, not enough for another mask, but basically this is our mask. It's 6 by 8. And this is the fold over. This is why it's good to keep that little black edge, because you don't need crystals when you're folding it over, so you might as well keep it. Now I'm using some clear elastic. You don't need to, but I thought it would be really cool because it just sort of disappears, which is awesome. I cut it on an angle, you can see there, because that's gonna allow me to weave it through. So you see this black border, we've got it on one side, so we're gonna use it. I'm folding it over and I'm basically putting the diamonds on top of each other. So I'm folding it and lining it up, that way two diamonds lay on top of each other. I take my elastic cording, clear elastic, and I push the point through the diamonds. Basically, by pushing it through double layers, it's connecting the two layers together, almost creating a casing for itself. This is why it's no-sew. I'm weaving it through, up and down, through the double layers. You don't actually need to fold it if you don't want to, but the issue is that the little cut edges, the frayed edges, will poke out on the sides, and it doesn't look as clean as if you fold it over, where you get this nice crisp kind of crisp edge. You can see there's no little frays, and that's what you want. So basically we're going up and down until you get to the end, and you can see it allows you to stretch it open or kind of draw it together to create this gathered effect. So that's one side. Now take the other side, you're gonna loop it up and over and come back down the other side just like that. The loop on the top is what's gonna go on the top of our head, and the two pieces that hang free are what's gonna get tied at the base of our neck. So I'm doing the same thing, and you can see on this side, my fold over does have little sequins on it, but that's okay. No need to take them off. It works fine. We just don't want to waste it. That's why we kept the little border on the other side. And you can see, there we go. This is basically the entire structure. This is the full DIY. You loop it through one side, come up over the other side, and loop it through the other, and then it will get tied at the base of our neck. I love it. It's really stretchy, as you can see here. So this is a red one I already made, and you can see the edge is nice and clean. It looks really clean finished because of the way that we did it. Now, if you have a fabric that you want to use that has some nice stretch, it's nice and sheer, so it's not functioning as a regular mask, but it's not something you can weave, I want to show you how you could hand sew it if you so choose. So basically, you're going to fold over just like we did on the mesh one. Fold it over, put some pins in, and we're gonna create a casing. You're gonna do it on either side, and the size of your casing really just depends on the size of the elastic you choose to use. This is gonna get hand sewn. So just grab a needle and thread, and your very first stitch, you wanna kind of do a little double. So you're gonna go through once, go through again, and now you can create these big stitches. Basically, every time my needle goes up and down, that creates multiple stitches just like a sewing machine would. So just work your way all the way up, and in and out, it comes together in literally like 30 seconds. Again, that first one is really important to do a couple stitches, and when you get to the end, you're gonna knot it off. So the way that you knot it off is you create a loop, but instead of closing it, you put the needle through the hole and then pull it tight. You do that twice, and that creates 2 double knots on either end. Now it's time to add in our elastic. You can see here, I had some old velvet, stretch elastic from that draped wrap dress I made a while back. I'm just putting a safety pin on it, feeding it in through the casing, kind of scrunching it. I'm sorry, my camera went out of focus here for a sec, but basically scrunching it all along and pulling it through. Now one side is done. We're gonna do the same thing as the other side, but you'll be able to see that because I only had a small piece of this, I'm not gonna end up with a long tail. I'm actually gonna sew it closed when it gets to the bottom. So I'm coming through the other side here, and you can see basically there's just enough to sew it closed. So for now, I safety pin it together to make sure it's the right length. I don't need to take any more. I tried it on and it was perfect. So basically I just sewed together that elastic. Now for the other ones, this is a really cool option. You want to fold your mask together so you can line up your elastic and make sure that it's laying evenly. Take the 2 ends of your elastic and you're going to cut the other end on an angle just like you had your first one. Now, we're gonna take these little sliders. I can't remember what these are called, but they're like the slides that you use for like a drawstring on a sweatshirt or on a drawstring bag. When you press it, it opens, and when you let go, it closes. That's what's gonna make this adjustable. So grab the ends of your elastic, make sure that the points are perfectly together, kind of like smushed together. Press open your toggle or your slide, sift it through, push it through, grab it by the other end, press it, and slide. Now that will be at the base of your neck so that you can perfectly adjust it to yourself, which is fantastic. One other thing I wanted to show you guys is how you can sanitize this. So this is actually one of those like cell phone sanitizers. It uses a UVC light to kill 99.9% of bacteria. I have it for my cell phone, but it works perfectly for something like this. Basically what you do is you put it inside, and because this mesh is just single layer, the light is gonna be able to get inside the entire thing, really reflecting the light all the way across and sanitizing it. That way when you put it on top of your regular mask, it's not carrying any bacteria that you wore from the last time. So you do need to sanitize this, but this little machine here prevents you from needing to actually hand wash it. If you don't have one, no problem, you can totally hand wash it with mild soap, but that's it, it's sanitized. All right, let's see what these look like on. All right, guys, well, that's it. It's so simple, as you can see, to make them no-sew. It's really just about using whatever elastic you want to use. The clear is super cool, but if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Weave it through that fabric. Obviously, you saw how you can disinfect it so that you make sure to keep it clean if you are going to be putting it on your functional mask. But I love them so much. I hope that you guys did too. I'm going to show you what they look like on with gowns and all dressed up in just a second. But if you liked this video, I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure to click that bell so that you get notifications when I have new videos out every Friday, and share it with a friend. If you want to share it, that would really help me out. I will see you all next week. Have a beautiful week. Stay safe. Love you guys.
Don't tell me how you feel, so quiet laying next to me. A silent souvenir, letting you go, letting you go. Keep craving you the days that you don't want me, like searching for some heat inside a cold breeze. On and on forever, won't you hold me? Now won't you hold me? Oh, 'cause baby I try to tell lies. Now I could spell them out if I still tried. 'Cause I don't care as long as you're there, as long as you're there. Baby, we can do this all night. Keep on second guessing our love, oh love. I don't really care if you don't mind. Baby, we can do this all night. We can do it all night. We can do it all night. Baby, won't you hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Guess we're pioneers, roaming in the atmosphere. I hate when you're not near, drifting away, drifting away. Keep missing you the days that you don't see me, like searching for a heart inside of my sheet. Sitting here forever, won't you hold me? Now won't you hold me? Oh, 'cause baby I try to tell lies. Now I could spell them out if I still tried. 'Cause I don't care as long as you're there, as long as you're there.